Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, a forum for business owners and senior executives to share the experiences about the elements that drive their success. Your host is Robert Brill, CEO of BrillMedia.co.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. Today our guest is Daisy Jing, founder at Banish.com. Thanks for being with us today, Daisy.
Oh yeah, thank you, Robert, for having me.
So now I understand you have a really great story. You have a massive YouTube channel, and is it correct to characterize it that your YouTube channel led you to create the business, or how did that all come about? And tell us about what Banish is.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Robert. So I've always had really bad acne and bad skin my entire life. So in 2011, I started my YouTube channel documenting my journey and trying out different skincare products and just reviewing different products and ingredients on my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel was kind of the reason for starting my business. So while fixing my skin, I tried something called microneedling with vitamin C that a doctor recommended. My audience saw the difference on my skin. I didn't intend on selling it at all. It was just something I tried and people wanted to know what I was using. And so I just shipped a few of those products out. I basically made some of it in my kitchen and then shipped them out. And that's how Banish started. So
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a few questions. So today what exactly are you selling today?
Skincare, a Banish skincare.
Got it. So this is your brand Banish.
Yes.
So do you manufacture, like how does the manufacturing setup work?
Yeah, so we manufacture in the US. We do some of the manufacturing in our office in-house as well. So we get different components and then we kind of put it all together ourselves.
And what are people buying? Is this cream?
One is a Banisher, which is a microneedling stamp. It's our patented product, like patented skincare device tool. And then there's an oil, a cream, a mask, a spray. So we have skincare products. So it's only about 6 products.
So you started in 2011 with the intention of documenting and sharing your journey. At what point did you realize, tell us about your growth, like the cadence of the growth of the channel?
The channel, I would say, to get the first 1,000 followers took a long time, maybe 1 to 2 years. But I was creating content almost every single day, and I wasn't trying to be an influencer. I wasn't trying to get views. It was just me just documenting my journey. Whoever wanted to see it would see it. I would say when I launched Banish, I had maybe 30,000 subscribers. So it wasn't huge, but it was an audience, and those got me my first customers. So I think it's really important that I had an audience because then I could sell the products to, and then I realized, hey, people really like this product. They keep repurchasing it. They're telling their friends and family about it, and then I could expand from there.
So when you were creating videos, it took you about 2 years. So you went from 2011 to 2013, and you got your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you were posting content about almost every day?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of work. I spent a lot of time on that channel.
And what do you think? So let me ask you then, to go from 1,000 followers to 30,000 subscribers, how much time did that take?
That took the same amount of time. I would say maybe at least 40 hours a week. I had a few videos that went viral that got over 10 million views in that time. So that is really what made the subscriber count grow.
So 2 years to go to 1,000 followers and another 2 years to go to 30,000 followers?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. And what's your count at the moment?
I think it's 200,000.
So 2011 to 2013, then 2015, but you have about 30,000. And so you're growing exponentially. Like that's a really interesting
Yeah. I would say we were about 200,000 to 2017, 2018. We've kind of stagnated because I haven't really made too much content on the channel. It's not been a priority. Running the business has been. So I do make content occasionally, but yeah, it was definitely exponential in the beginning.
That's amazing. That feels really good to hear. I've been wanting to talk to someone on YouTube for a while now because I'm having a heck of a time. Like we like literally something happened over the last like few weeks where we're getting like 1 or 2 subscribers a day rather than 1 or 2 every few days. So that already to me feels exciting. But we have on YouTube like 294 subscribers, and I'm like, holy cow, this is great. But I mean, that's not the way we're building our business. It's a short-term thing, or it's a long-term thing. I'm not looking at it to drive revenue today. But it's fascinating because holy cow. So in the first 2 years, you made around 700, 800 videos, maybe more in the first 2 years.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably less than that, maybe 300 videos in the first 2 years, 400 videos, but maybe one every other day or a few a week.
Wow. So now you're Forbes 30 under 30, Inc. 5000 entrepreneur. You've spoken with TEDx. Tell me about like when these things started to happen for you.
Yeah. So, the Forbes 30 under 30 was 2018, I think, or 2017. The Inc. 5000 was 2018, and then the TEDx was last year, 2019.
And what do you think? Like, is this? It sounds like something just like clicked during the course of this process, right? Like some potentially around 2015, 2016, something just clicked with your business. Is there anything specific that you can point to where you can say it all kind of just came together, or this one thing was the tipping point for you?
Yeah, I definitely think maybe 2016-ish. I think first and foremost was the product solved a pain point. So our product targets acne scars. And currently there is no product out there that you can treat acne scars with at home. A lot of people are focused on the acne or skincare in general. But I had a very specific problem and pain point, and I was able to solve it, and it solved other people's problem and pain point too. And then the second part was YouTube. The influencer market, kind of blew up in 2016-ish, 2015. So we had some big influencers reviewing our product completely for free, and that kind of blew it up. So it's a lot about timing and the right product market fit.
And when you decided to, so basically at one point you said, okay, I'm going to create, market, and manufacture this product, these Banish products. What was your learning curve on that? Like how did you go from, because it seems like a daunting task to go from in front of YouTube to now I'm going to actually like manufacture physical things.
Oh yeah. I mean,
especially things that are for health.
Yeah. It's definitely a learning curve. And I would say, every day as a business owner, it's all about learning and diving into something you don't know. We actually just started with one to 2 products in the beginning. So we just took very, very easy baby steps. So that made it a lot less daunting, just focusing on one item. And, there's a lot of suppliers out there who have components of what you're trying to do. There's, chemists you can hire out, contract manufacturers. I mean, there's people there, who do stuff, who can help you along the way. The important thing is you need to know what you want and what your vision is. And because I had that background with acne for my, almost my entire life, and with skincare, I already knew exactly what I wanted in the products.
Like you had a vision for what you wanted to develop. How did you go about finding the right people to develop it for you? Like, were you presented with an offer and you're like, all right, this is interesting, I want to make it my own, or did you seek this out, or did it seek you out, the product and the manufacturing side of this?
Honestly, the first couple ones I actually made myself. So I took like ingredients. I had vendors. What do you call it? You can buy like the certain raw ingredient components from different vendors. And I knew, where I wanted to go because I'd been using them on my own skin. So I kind of just made it myself and used it myself. And some of those formulations are the exact same formulations we have today. And then there's a couple where it was very much trial and error. It was me going and trying out a lot of different product samples, etc., and then seeing kind of what stuck and what people liked, and basically what worked for me. But we are presented with, hundreds of different formulations and products all the time. We get samples all the time, and I mean, almost all of them are rejected since we only have like 6 or 7 products in our line, just because it's just the amount of work it takes to make, manufacture, fill, ship, advertise a product. I only want something I know 100% that is going to succeed. So,
And what was the time frame from like deciding you want to do this to getting a product out the door and having a real business model behind it? Was it months, years?
no, all of this happened accidentally. So I didn't intend on having a skincare line or creating a business like this. So immediately it was that people wanted to use whatever it is I was using. So I sent it to them, and then I just kept iterating on that one product.
And so fast forward to 2020, you have a booming business. You're getting a lot of attention. What happens with COVID? Do you see an increase or decrease in business? I don't know what to think.
Yeah. So we actually saw an increase right when businesses are shutting down. I think March, April-ish, because people are at home, and I think skincare and e-commerce in general trended upwards. So I think people are, they're more open to the idea of doing skincare at home, of doing facial treatments or acne scar treatments at home. And, when we launched in 2013, it was always an at-home acne scar treatment. So people are more receptive to doing these things at home.
And how did you, as you think about the marketing for your business, what is your primary growth? What pushes your business forward with marketing?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different buckets. We try to diversify because, if you do all of your marketing in one channel, that channel screws you over, something happens to it, your business is gone. So really almost every social media platform you can think of, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, we're on. So we just try to diversify as much as we can, also with SEO.
Is there any outlier that you can point to that does particularly well?
YouTube has always done well for us, but now it's kind of not doesn't drive as many sales for us as probably our Instagram. But we still have YouTube. We still have to keep doing it because the times we kind of forget about like YouTube or other social platforms, we can definitely see a dip, maybe 3 or 4 months from when we kind of forget to invest in it. So YouTube has always been really good for us, and we spend a lot of money on Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising too.
And so when you talk about not investing in YouTube, what is that? Not creating videos? Are you running ads on YouTube?
Yeah, everything. Working with influencers, creating our own content, posting content. It's all about consistency. And, sometimes we get complacent. We're like, okay, we already have a few videos lined up, and then we kind of forget about it, go on to the next thing. And then a few months later, we're like, oh, wow, we're not getting any more sales because it's all about the algorithm. If you're producing and posting good content, it's going to drive up your other previous videos as well. So if you just don't touch it, your channel is going to die down. So it's just really important to be consistent. And so, yeah, it is a lot of people's full-time job to post and create content all the time.
And when you look at Facebook and Instagram ads, have you seen a bump in performance this year on Facebook and Instagram?
Not really. I think especially now because the elections are coming up, it's getting more expensive. I think in the beginning of the quarantine, there was a little boost. But yeah, I think things are kind of leveled out and plateaued now.
Yeah, we've been seeing sales the majority of this year do really well on Facebook, lead generation and sales. And you're right, with the political season coming to a close, we're seeing a lot CPMs jump up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's also getting to be Q4, and that's going to be more expensive as well with so many advertisers for the holidays. What kind of team do you have supporting you?
We have a team, 13 people. So yeah, marketing, shipping, of course, shipping, packaging, operations, customer service.
Nice. And where have you, so customer service, shipping, marketing, do you find what kind of challenges are you facing as you scale? Are you running out of product? Is your marketing like needing to scale? Like what are the challenges that you might be facing? Where does it look into 2021? It sounds like things are going really well.
The challenges would be just everything is changing so quickly on social platforms, and what's popular today is not going to be popular tomorrow. So it's all about reinventing yourself. That has been a huge challenge. And, sometimes even the influencers we work with, they have to constantly reinvent themselves. Or today one influencer will be popular, but tomorrow a completely different one will be popular. And the types of content we post, we have to constantly change because people want to see different things. So I think it's just always keeping up with what the algorithm wants, and keeping up with the times, because the people who were YouTube celebrities 2 years ago are not necessarily, YouTube celebrities now. So it's constant change all the time.
So you really need to keep track of culture.
Culture, yes, exactly. Culture.
Do you do anything with TikTok?
Yeah, so we have done TikTok. We haven't, it's not a huge traffic or revenue driver, but it's, again, we have to stay relevant and create content on there. So we do use TikTok.
And when you pick influencers, like what are you looking for? Certainly relevance, cultural relevance, but I imagine there might be influencers who are more expensive, some are less expensive. How do you judge the efficacy of an influencer's content as it ties back to your business?
Yeah, so I get this question a lot, and it's simply kind of this gut intuition that our team has because we've been working with influencers for 7 years now. A lot of it has to do with, if you are somebody watching their content, or if you're, one of their followers, do you trust what they say? Are they your target market? Just because someone has 1 million followers doesn't mean their posts are going to convert. So it's all about, like, I guess, their target market and their authenticity. Do they seem believable? Right. And also, are they always posting sponsored content all the time? If they're doing that, then people are less likely to believe them. It's kind of this intuition, gut instinct, but I think you just have to think of it from a perspective of, if you're one of their followers, would you believe what they have to say?
Have you, it sounds like you've had some pretty good experiences with influencers. What's the process? Like, it's like interesting, like you're kind of like you're doing your own advertising and marketing. Like, so you have to be on top of culture. You're doing your shipping, you're doing the manufacturing. Like, what kind of processes do you have in place to ensure that, there's review, there's redundancy, that you're making the most out of your marketing investment? Like, how do you ensure that you're not wasting a bunch of money on marketing and advertising?
Yeah, I know that's a great question. So we have a lot of spreadsheets and reports, and we have a lot of meetings and check-ins. And so at each check-in, we have a bunch of numbers. And if we're above or below, we're like, okay, what's going on? But we track everything, how many, even like how many packages were undelivered, how many, return to senders were there. What is our labor efficiency? What is our labor cost? What is our, return on ad spend? How many impressions did this video get? How many sales that we get from their code? We track everything. So I think if you're tracking the right stuff and then you just put it all in a spreadsheet and look at the numbers, if there's huge variance or fluctuations, then you can be like, okay, something's going on here. But yeah, it's a pretty, it's been 7 years. So it took 7 years to do this. And also I try to keep the business as simple as possible. I would say for a business of our size, I think the business is pretty simple in that we have very few products. We don't try to make things complicated. So it makes it easier.
It sounds like creativity is at the heart of what you're doing. And what I like about it is that it really creates an opportunity for you to express yourself within culture, which is really cool to me.
Yes.
What does the next year look like? Any new rollouts, new products, new marketing? or just keeping the same and growing further?
There's, a huge skin positivity movement focusing on mental health of those with acne, and that's been pretty trending. I think now more than ever, everybody wants to have a voice and an opinion on things that they matter. People want to stand for what they believe in. And so that's part of culture in 2020. And the skin positivity movement is part of that. So we're really honing in on that. And even, in 2020, we worked with a lot of different organizations that people are passionate about. But yeah, I think 2020 and maybe 2021, it's all about standing up for your voice.
Do you ever have to get into not purposely controversial content, but like, does politics ever come into it, or like the body positivity movement? Like, how do you keep your content fresh when you're doing something good and positive for people, and at the same time not get in? Do you find it pretty easy to not get into like things that are controversial with regards to the larger, with coronavirus, with wearing a mask, with Black Lives Matter, with Blue Lives Matter, the whole thing, right? And I'll tell you, I found on my channel there's people like getting on board about like it's the new world order, because I called this thing the channel on YouTube is called The Great Reset, and the core idea is like, look, now's the time to change anything that's not working, make it better. This is a reset for all of us, right? That's the idea. I have people commenting like all kinds of political stuff. It's like, it's not political. Like, and you're so out there. Like, do you ever come across that, or is that, do you find it easy to stay away from that?
I think it's relatively easy for us, but yeah, we have come across, recently it seems like no matter what you do, everyone has an issue. So yes, there are things people have not spoken positively about, but I think relatively compared to other brands, it's been pretty easy.
Very cool. And so the marketing and advertising that you do, is it squarely handled in-house?
Yes.
Nice. That's great. If that
Yeah, and I highly recommend it. And we have including myself, 3 of us were really strong in just thinking of ideas. And funny thing, none of us had any previous work experience in this. We just kind of, I don't know, it's just this knack for it, right? Like, and sometimes you see when you work with someone, they either get it or they don't. Especially with marketing and branding, like people just get it. You can't really train for it. You can't go to school for it. It doesn't really, like, you could be working at the best, maybe marketing branding agencies, but if they don't get your voice and your vision, then it's probably not going to work out. So that's my favorite part of what I do, is just thinking of ideas for new branding, marketing initiatives.
What's the thing that you like to do the best in your business? What do you love?
Thinking of ideas. I'm the idea person, and everyone gets tired of me when I want to launch something new.
Do you just override them and be like, "We're going to do this," or is there a group of people that kind of has to sign off on it?
Well, I'm the one who can be like, "Okay, we're going to do this or not." But I have learned to take feedback and really ask questions about, is it really necessary? Because people aren't going to say like, "Okay, Daisy, your idea is stupid," right? But I've had to ask and like kind of read people, and sometimes, yeah, okay, it might be stupid, or maybe we'll table that for a different time. And I've gotten in trouble for this because I'm always the idea person. So, we're working on something that's working, and then I throw like 5 new ideas, and then we go to the 5 new idea things, and we forget about what was working, and it hurts us in our business. So I think a part of that is, working on what's working 80% of the time, and always trying new things, but not only trying new things and forgetting about what has been working.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look just at like Facebook ads, for example, like that's exactly what we're doing. Like maybe not 80-20, but the core idea is if we're getting a bunch of leads on something, we are going to ride that thing until the wheels fall off and then recreate that. And when you tinker with the targeting too aggressively, it becomes really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
How can so tell us again, so where can people buy? Is it banish.com?
Yes.
And if they want to reach out and learn more about you, do they also go to banish.com?
Yeah, my personal Instagram is at Dazers89, and that's the YouTube channel handle. So you can reach out to me there. And then,
Can you spell that? Dazers89?
yeah, DAISERZ89.
Got it. Okay. And Banish.com. Well, very cool. Daisy Jing, founder at Banish.com. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Robert.